everyone. In today's video, we will be diving into a simple script that fetches gene symbols from Ensembl database using Ensembl's API. I will walk you through the code line by line and will explain how it works. So let's get started. First of all, we will import requests library. Requests library is basically used to send a request to the API to fetch output. The type of this request is HTTP request. HTTP is basically Hypertext Transfer Protocol. These types of requests are used to get data from APIs. HTTP request is like a message sent by client to a server in order to ask for output. Then we will define a function. To define a function, first of all, we write a def keyword, then the name of the function, and input parameter is basically the input that we want to take from the user. Then we will write a URL to send a request to the API. First of all, here we are basically writing the f string and then https rest.ensemble.org lookup id and the variable ensemble id that we are providing here. Whatever ensemble id we will provide to our code, it will get replaced by here and will be sent to the API to find out the gene symbol. Some APIs require header to identify format of the data. Here we are specifying that the type of output we want is in JSON format. Now, why we are specifying JSON format here? Because APIs can return different types of data. It can be in the form of HTML, XML, JSON, etc. The syntax used by it is type and subtype. Here the type of data is application and its subtype, that is the most specific category, is JSON. Now here the type can be application, type can be in the form of application, it can be in the form of a text, or it can be in the form of a image, and subtype will be the exact format of data within that category. Now what do we mean by type and subtype? Here the type of data that we want to retrieve is application type of data and its subtype is JSON format. Then we will define request here. First of all, we are using requests library. We are using .get method to send a request to the API that the type of request we want to send is get. Now here we can send different type of requests to API. These can be get request, put request, patch request, post request, or delete request. But here we are using only the get request. This means that we doesn't want to provide any type of data, but we want to fetch data. We want to get data from the API. Then we will check that either our request has been sent to API or not. We will use if statement that if response dot status code is equal to 200. Now here 200 specifies that our request has been successfully sent to the API. Now if our status code is equal to 200, this means that we want to show our data in the form of a JSON format, and we are storing its output in a variable called as data. Now here JSON with parentheses is basically a method provided by requests library. We are basically converting the response content from JSON format into a Python dictionary. Here our response output will be in the form of a string. So we will use .json to convert this string into a dictionary for further use. Else, if no gene symbol is present in API, in Ensembl API, it will return an error that no gene symbol for your, no gene name has been found for your gene ID. Then we will call the function. First of all, we write the name of the function and the input that we want to provide to it. So here we are basically providing the Ensembl ID. So Ensembl IDs always start with this keyword ENSG. Let's run our code. Now here basically we are printing out our data. I have already explained, basically using .json method to convert string into a dictionary, and this dictionary will be stored in a variable known as data. If we check it to see that what type of this data look like, here we print the data and our data look like this. It is stored in a curly brackets that shows that it is a dictionary. This shows a key and this is its value. So this data will contain basically the complete information about our ID. It will store information about its species, that this gene ID belongs to which species, Homo sapiens, that what is its biotype, it is protein coding, type of this ID is gene, it belongs to which strand, 1, and all of the other related information. But here we only want to display the name of two gene. We only want to fetch this type of information. So we will use, first of all, we will write the name of the variable, that is data, and we want to get this key using symbol not found here, because the syntax used by .get method is key and default value. Now here we have provided the key, that is display underscore name, but if this key is not present within this dictionary, this means that Ensembl API does not contain gene symbol against our Ensembl ID, so it will show this default value, that symbol not found. So if we do not provide this default value and we leave it empty here, by default it will take none. Now let's check our output. So this Ensembl ID is basically belongs to this symbol, that is BRCA2. We can make our output more readable by writing it like this. Now here it is in most readable form, that the gene symbol for this ID is BRCA2. And that's it for this tutorial. In this tutorial we discussed that how to use Ensembl API to convert a gene ID into a gene symbol. For watching, see you in the next video.